So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I think I got it right. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm holding on.
Yes, I love it.
It is bright and early, and you are the highlight of my day. So we're kicking it off the right way. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the hot seat and to the tan line. I appreciate you so much for taking time out of your schedule because I know that you have been super busy and only getting busier.
Thank you for having me. It's morning time here in the West Coast, so I'm waking up, and the brain's starting to move along. But I'm happy to be here, and I love your energy, so that's definitely
Awesome.
helpful. So
Thank you, my love. Listen, we're going to blame it on the tea because I've had my herb this morning. I said, this man, he deserves a better version of me, and I'm not myself until I've had my tea. So I said, let me go ahead and get me a little sip real quick. So I did what I had to do, and that was the team effort. That's about the best I got for the day, though. That's all I got.
Nah, I see that the team warmed up the vocal cords because you're ready to go. So
absolutely. And here it is, you're no stranger to the world of entertainment, but you're bringing something new. We are now streaming on Paramount. Plus, you are giving us a little bit of the edutainment. That's what I like to call it, right? When you're educating us, but yet through the world of entertainment, which is pretty much the way that we can tranquilize people and really tell them what we need them to know through the music. Give me a little bit about how you knew that painting portraits basically would be a way of life for you versus just a hobby.
yeah, I mean, I moved to the U.S. when I was 8 years old with my mom, and I learned how to speak English through hip hop and going to Malcolm X Elementary School, and I spoke English at school and Spanish at home with my mom. So I always wanted to connect these two worlds. I was inspired by General and Calle as much as I was by hip hop artists like Outkast and Nas and Tupac and a bunch of different artists. So
You got
I
all the
always
heavy
wanted to
hitters.
definitely. And they're all behind me on the record shelves too. So for me, it was important to unite the cultures and to show the world how music from the street, I mean, hip hop's from the street, salsa's from the street, reggaeton's from the street, like all these cultures are birthed in low income neighborhoods as a form of a way to express where we go to places that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And that's where a lot of the music is birthed from. And I wanted to go to these neighborhoods throughout Latin America, in the US and in Spain, to share some of the stories of the pioneers, share some of the stories of the superstars, and really paint the picture of the different things that go into the gumbo, the different things that go into the sancocho, the different things that go into the soup that make up our culture.
That's right. It's funny that you mentioned gumbo. I just made some yesterday, right? So there's that. We need to get you to Louisiana real soon so we can get you some gumbo and we can have you give them the edutainment as of how it all begins to flow and bring it all to life. And, it's interesting to see all of the wax behind you. We're living in this generation where everything now is streaming, is digital. If you bring out an 8-track or a record, people are looking like, wait a minute, what is it? What is it? This is the real deal. This is the real stuff, right? And now you have this 8-part docuseries. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, De La Calle. It starts in New York, And sorry, I got my my pup is trying to get into this interview right now, so apologize for the distraction. Yeah, we start in New York, and we really paint the picture of Latinos' contributions to hip hop back from the 70s. You know, for all four elements, we're talking to some of the first DJs to record a track. Some of the first MCs to record a track in Spanish. Mr. Shig did it in '81. We're talking to some of the first DJs like Charlie Chase, who, you know, was one of the early DJs in hip hop back in like '75. So, you know, we trace some of those contributions by the pioneers, and then we go all the way to like the 90s, and we talk to like Fat Joe and Nori and Jim Jones and Tony Touch and a bunch of different artists, and then we take it to the present day. And then from New York, we go to Panama, and in Panama, we explore how a lot of migration that came to build the canal from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, brought reggae over to Panama, and then reggae became reggae en español because the people didn't understand the lyrics. And then from that became the inspiration to reggaeton, because people from Puerto Rico took a little of that flavor, took a little bit of what was going on in the US, put their own spin on with everything that was going on in Puerto Rico, and then you have reggaeton. Then we go to Cuba, and we explore how, just like in Puerto Rico, the drums that came from Africa, in Puerto Rico it's called bomba, in Cuba it's called bata, but they're the drums that were used for spiritual ceremonies in Africa, and they made it over to Puerto Rico and Cuba. We go to Spain, and we see how flamenco is also birthed in the street, and now there's new artists that are combining flamenco with Latin trap and like making all these cool fusions of music. And then from there we go to Colombia, and we study how in Colombia, yeah, reggaeton is super big, but there's also things that inspire reggaeton, like vallenato and chirimia. Chirimia, actually, we went through one of the neighborhoods in Colombia, and they were playing the drums, and they were saying that it's very similar to a drum line from New Orleans, you know, second line. They were actually going through the neighborhood, reclaiming the streets of Colombia, reclaiming Comuna 13, which for a long time was associated with the narcos. Artists from the neighborhood are going around with their drums, kind of reclaiming the neighborhood as theirs, which I thought was such a beautiful and powerful statement. So everywhere that we went, we had these, you know, beautiful stories of people who battled adversity and have come through on the other side, creating beautiful musical culture that is now inspiring the world. So that's a little tidbit of what, you know, we did in De La Calle in the 8 different episodes.
Now, listen, if that's just a tiny dose of what we're going to get in the 8-part docuseries, clearly we're going to need 8 more docs on this, okay? It's like, I've been a DJ for 26 years, and I'm thinking to myself, I've never given it that much thought. And within like 60 seconds or less, you just amplify hidden voices that were there in plain sight, you know? So it's almost like when everybody wants to be heard, they want to be seen, they are on the scene, but you don't have that greater level of understanding. So for you and your team to break it down and to really put it all into perspective, I applaud you for that. But while you're working on these docuseries, you have so much information, and every part is your favorite part. So I can't ask you, you know, what's your favorite, but I will ask you, how did you know what parts you were going to leave on the cutting room floor? Because there's so much good stuff, and we have to narrow it down in just 8. How?
I mean, it's such a challenge to go to a country and try to tell the story in an hour. There's so much, and I fought to make the episodes longer. I fought to have like a added bonus stuff, because I was like, oh man, there's so much amazing content out there, and hopefully there's a season 2. And in season 2, there's a lot of places I want to go: Dominican Republic, Brazil, Chile. I want to go to Africa. I want to study how Afro beats and reggaeton are collaborating. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the beautiful thing about this series, is that you see that in a lot of ways we're more similar than we're different, through our culture, through our music, through our food, and the things that make us different are something to celebrate. And I think that's what makes us beautiful as Latinos and Latinas. The diaspora is such a beautiful thing to study and to show the connections and to show what makes each country different, and how their own culture brings a different element to the gumbo that makes it a little bit this way or a little bit that way. So yeah, It's definitely, it was hard to pick, and I think that, you know, to me, the docuseries is the start of a conversation. It's not the end of a conversation. So hopefully people watch an episode and they're inspired to learn more about one particular artist or one particular genre. But I think, you know, the fact that you can see hip hop inspiring an indigenous woman in Oaxaca to rap because she feels that hip hop is a way that she can express herself and also keep her indigenous language alive to the new generation, or a group in Palenque, which was the first freed town of enslaved Africans in Colombia, and they're using hip hop as a way to also teach the youth and as a way to keep that indigenous language alive. I think it's a beautiful thing to see how something that started in the Bronx went to all different parts of Latin America and then got mixed up with local cultures and different things. And now, you know, each culture is kind of making it theirs and adding a different spin and starting a new subgenre. So it's a beautiful thing.
It is, you know, and just to say that all of these differences really point out how much alike we really are from all parts of the globe. You know, everybody has their own unique spin, but it does open the line of communication and make us really understand and listen for a greater level of understanding. And then
Mm.
that opens it up for another level of appreciation. Just hearing it, being able, because when you hear the music, it's a vibe. It transcribes and it tells you what it wants you to do. The music
Yep.
basically tells you what it wants you to say. Because you know, as a writer, I always write my hooks first, and I think the verses just kind of follow and find themselves. But you know, I'll tell people
Mhm.
I'm a professional hooker. I can get the hook first. So
Yep. You catch the
whenever you're
pocket
getting,
first.
you know, whenever you're getting these inspirations from these songs, what has been one of the most inspirational parts for you in saying that now with the platform of Paramount Plus, seeing the importance of amplifying these voices along with you? What has been a highlight of this project for you?
I think one of the highlights has definitely been to use some of the spotlight that the superstars now have to shine it on the pioneers and to shine it on people who for a long time have been trying to break down doors, and maybe they haven't been able to fully in their career. Maybe they didn't get the fame or they didn't get the top charting songs, but they actually helped make the culture what it is now. And I think, you know, we have a lot of artists now chart topping the world, but there are so many people before them that actually like laid down the foundation and who had to, you know, knock on the door to try to get opportunities, whether it was on the radio or create a industry or do whatever it was. And I think them getting their flowers while they're still alive is such an important thing to me, is to, you know, recognize the effort that, you know, generations in the past have done so that we can get to where we are now. I think is a beautiful thing, and to give those pioneers, to let them a platform to share their story and to get their roses, I think is one of the highlights for me of the series. And also to see our superstars, you know, outside of the limelight, really talking about the things that inspired them and talk about the culture and go into the neighborhoods where the music was made, I think is such an important thing to actually understand, you know, where a lot of this music came from. I think is definitely some of my favorite things.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you're always up to something at Paramount Plus. They have us covered with this 8-part docu-series. It is streaming right now. So now is the time to get your popcorn, get all your snacks, and say, we are here for it. We are waiting on season 2 as we are getting you enough time to go ahead and get it together. Okay. All right.
I
And in
appreciate
the
that. And for those that
meantime,
don't, for those that don't have Paramount Plus, if you use the promo code De La Calle, you can get a month free trial of Paramount. So, you know, I'm putting it out there for those that have the subscription or those who might want to, you know, subscribe. De La Calle promo code helps you do that for a month. So
that is awesome. And how can we keep up with you and all of the other great things that you have going on?
social media, Nicholas R. Barili is my handles on both Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever we're calling it these
Yeah,
days.
the X.
So
They got rid of the blue bird, and now it's just the X. So yeah, all that good stuff, right?
all that good stuff. That's definitely where you know, I let the world know what projects I'm working on. So
Absolutely. Well, I want you to know that this is an extension of your office. So whenever you have anything going on, you tell them you need to jump in the hot seat on the tan line, and you can consider it done. You heard me?
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I got to come to New Orleans for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you have more work to do, so I'm gonna let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. And hug that puppy for me too here.
I will. She's over here asking me to take her out. So,
Aw. Yeah, well, you need to go ahead and do that. You get a break now. So, hello, my love. Up and gone. Camera shy. What can I say?
yeah, she's a puppy. She's got a lot of energy.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.